Well, hello everybody and welcome to my tutorial on how to do or how to start your Google Sites. This is going to be a very basic beginner. So if you're not a beginner, chances are you don't want something a little more complex than what I have going on here. So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to head over to sites.google.com and you want to make sure that you are in the new Google Sites. So if it's in classic sites, you want to go to where it's going to be the new Google Sites, but hopefully it takes you right to new Google Sites. So to get started, you have a few options, and you can just start by clicking on blank up here to start a new site. There's also, Google has some templates, so if you click on that little button up there, it'll open their template gallery. And so my recommendation for you is to start with the template gallery. And I like to start with the class template gallery, and we'll be able to make some adjustments and changes later on to this gallery or to this website, but it's a good place to start. So we're going to start with the class template. So we give it a chance to pop open the screen, and you're going to see your Google site. It's very simple. So we're going to do a few things. There's a tour, but we're going to just go on here. We're going to do a few things. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to up here and I'm going to give this a name, the site a name. So I'm going to call it Mr. Ferrero's class. Now that just changes the title, the name of this document, the name of this site. Maybe document's not the right word, but you know what I'm saying. Okay. So now we're going to make some little tweaks and changes. First of all, your site menu is here at the top. And you've got a few links already in here, home, schedule, and newsletter, just a few that are here. I'll show you how to delete pages and to add new pages in a little bit. Up top left side, this is where you're going to give your class a name. This name's going to stay at the top here. So again, we're going to do Mr. Ferrero's class. And Google now gives you the ability to add a logo there. You can add your school logo, or I like to add a picture of myself. So I'm going to just real quick try and find myself a really good picture here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Bitmoji of me just popping through, and that's going to add this little logo here to my page. You can also add a fave icon. First of all, when you upload a logo, it gives you the option to add to change colors for the theme based on your logo. Your fave icon is the little icon that goes in the top of your toolbar up there, which is kind of cool to update that. So I just make it the same. That's me. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that for right now. And you see my little logo shows up here. Some places will put their school logo. You can do kind of whatever you want. So you've got a few different places that I want to talk to you about. Let's talk about this location right here. This is your header. And every page will have a header. So look at the schedule page, it has a header. The newsletter page has a header. And you can do some customization here of the header. First of all, if you kind of like the way this looks as it is, you can just go down here and upload a new image. So I'll use my 6th graders. And it'll just create a whole new image, or put the image in the back, which is fun. You can decide, this is kind of big, I don't know if I want this huge header. You can change the header type to be a cover, which means it becomes a really, really big picture. A large banner, which is what we had. A regular banner, which is a little bit smaller. Or just the title. I like to, on my first page, have it as a large banner. I think that's kind of cool. I think cover is a little bit too big. Involve people kind of scrolling down a little bit more. So I like to go with just a large banner to start. But on my other pages, like my schedule and newsletter, any of my other pages, I like these to just be title only. And so I'll go in and just do that. I'll make them all title only. And just like have a nice little fun picture. And you can keep them however you want for all of your other pages. Now you've got a few different sections. This class template fills in all kinds of sections already for you. So if you like these sections, go ahead and edit those. Or if you don't like the section, say I just don't like the way this looks here, I can just delete that whole section. And that section kind of goes away. Delete, and deletes the whole section. So I can just get rid of the whole yellow and just delete the whole thing if I want to. I don't want this big picture here. I'm going to delete this section as well. Now here I might do this. I like it's about me. So you can just edit some of these things. Let's talk about adding some stuff now to your page. So each one of these is like a whole new section of your page. So you can insert a few different things. There's a text box, image, you can embed things, and you can add things from your Google Drive, which is really kind of cool. There's also these fun layouts they already have for you, where you would click on those. You can add things like collapsible text, table of contents, a carousel of images, a button, divider, placeholders, YouTube videos, etc., etc. You can see there's just tons of stuff over here that you can add. So what we're going to do now, let's just add a simple text box. We're going to click on text box, and it's going to add a new text box here. And I'm going to say, welcome to my site. Now, I don't want it to be here. But that's fine, because if I look to the side here, I got this little guy, and this little guy means I can drag it wherever I want. And I want it to be right below my header. Now, I want to welcome to my site. I want it to be, I can move it, resize it, bring it over. I can bold it. I can make it a title so it's larger. I can center it. And then let's say over here, I want to put my image again. So I'm going to click on image, hit upload. And I'm going to do that little picture of me. But I don't want it here. I want it up here. I want it right there. Now it's pretty big. I want it smaller. So I'm going to just drag and make it smaller. I want to move it over a little bit. Maybe I'll put it right here. That could be fun. Whatever. You can kind of do whatever you want. You kind of get the idea. Okay? But you can move things wherever you want. Items you can move. You can drag them from, just go up to the outline. You can drag them into different sections if you want. You can drag it down to like right on the side there. I can, I don't like it there. Right? That's a terrible spot, but I can drag it to this section here if I want. I can move it up like I did before. I can do all kinds of fun things to my site. Okay. Let's talk about adding a new page. So we're going to go up the top here. Over the right hand side, you've got pages and themes. So click on pages. It's going to show you all the pages we have. So let's say you're not going to do a class newsletter. I want to get rid of that. Click on the three buttons and just hit delete, and it will delete that page. To add a new page, if you're on the pages, click the little plus sign, and you're going to get a new page. So let's say I want a page all about math. I'm going to type math, and I'm going to click done, and to create a new page on math. Now, if I want to move this page up or down, I just click it and drag it with me. So I want it to be my second page is on math. And I want this to be a title only. And then for my math page, I'm going to put in a text box. This year in math, we will learn many exciting things. I'm going to add another text box. I'm going to put this week's standards. And I'm going to make this into a, maybe we'll do a subheading a little bit smaller. Subheading, I'm going to drag it over. I'm going to make it kind of small because I'm going to do this again. I'm going to add two sections here. If I can spell, I'm going to do two sections here. I'm going to do a column for my standard of the week. And I'm going to do a column for my vocabulary, the week's vocabulary. So I'm going to do the same thing. So what I've done is now I've just created two little mini headings here. One that says this week's standards. I'm going to bold it. Okay. I'm going to make a category or something that says this week's vocabulary. And then under here, I'm going to put the standards of vocabulary. So I'll create another text box. And I don't have a standard ready, but let's just say it's something really simple, 1.01, whatever it happens to be. Students will be able to add decimals. I'm going to make something very basic. I'm going to resize again. And I'm going to drag it up so in to this section right beneath my standards. I'm going to add my new text box. I'm going to start with my vocabulary, and I'm going to do a bulleted list for my vocabulary. So I'm going to put my vocabulary words are decimals, addition, maybe commutative. No, that's multiplication. Oh, you can do addition too. And let's just say plus. I don't know what our vocabs words are. I'm really making this up on the fly. I'm going to drag and make it a little bit smaller, and I'm going to drop it here under this week's vocabulary. So now I have the ability to every week just edit out my standard and edit out my vocabulary here. I might want to put in a whole section about homework. So let's just do a new section. We're going to call it homework. And I want this to be really big deal. So I'll make it into a heading. And then I'm going to click my color over here and make this an emphasis. I'm going to make this yellow. And I'm going to put workbook page 7. I don't know. Maybe we'll put Monday. And then we'll make this bold. Oh, I'm going to highlight it first, bold. And I'm going to move it up into my homework section because it makes it into a new section. And so you could just do that for homework. All right? Kind of makes sense so far. The bottom here is your footer. And so you can click on edit footer at any time. Anything you put down here will be on the footer of every single page. So I'll just put my name. And I'll put my email address. And I can link that and automatically make it to it because it recognizes an email address. It'll make it into an email address. This is very small for me, so I'm going to make this subheading size. We'll make it bigger. And of course, I'm going to put an image down there. I'm going to use my Bitmoji again. My huge Bitmoji, we're going to make it smaller and put it up there. I still think it's a little too big, so I'll make it smaller again. And there it is. Okay, so you can get out of that by clicking anywhere else you want. Now, what you notice is I just double-clicked right here, and my mini menu comes up when you double-click. These are things you use most often. Text, images, embedding, which is HTML, or coding, something from your Google Drive, or you want to upload something to go in this space. It's very easy. We'll go to the schedule here real quick. Actually, why don't we add a new page? And we'll call this page videos. Okay? And so let's go back to insert, and we can go right to the YouTube. Click that. And we could search for a video. Adding, oh, I'm not actually searching. Adding decimals. And let's say I search and I find a video on YouTube that I like. I like this one. I select it, and it puts it right in to the page. And the same as before, I can adjust it. I can move it around. I can drag it. Say I want it in the middle. I can drag it to the middle. And now this video is now embedded into my website. It's that simple. You also would want to sometimes embed something from your Google Drive. So if you click on Drive, it's going to open your Google Drive, and you're now going to be able to select something from your Google Drive that you want to put in here. So let's say I want to put in I'll just put in my schedule from this year. Here's the document I want. Click on it. I click insert, and it puts that document in. Now, you might be like, wow, this looks really, really big. I want to change it. I can, just as before, you can resize things. I want it to kind of like that. It looks pretty good. And there you go. Still looks a little wonky to me. I want the whole thing to be viewable. There you go. And now I've got my schedule that I had, or whatever, something from my Google Drive I can put inside there. It's really that easy to do. Let's talk about publishing. So when you are done, you are going to hit this little publish button, and it's going to publish it. You can give your thing a web address. So I'm just going to call it Mr. Ferrero, or I'm going to call it by my last name. And down here right below, it's going to show you what your URL is going to be for this. So make it something that you want. And then you hit publish. Now, it's published. But right now, only people who are in your school can see it. You want to make this available for everybody. So go up here to your, not settings, sorry. Drop down. I'm sorry, to your share. There's share. Click on this dude right here. The little plus sign. And we're going to hit change. See now here, publish site within your school. Nope, we're going to click that and make it public. All right. It needs to be public. If it's public, then you are golden. Okay. I'm going to hit publish one more time. And what it's doing right now, it's going to show you if you made any changes. We didn't make any changes, so we don't have to do that there. All right. I like to turn that option off. We can talk about that some other time. So now you have your published site. So you can view published site, and so open up, and it'll show you what your website's going to look like. Here's your website. We'll go back to your home page, and this is our home page that we had from before. It looks like my picture didn't save on here. I'll have to go back and fix that. But here's my thing. It's like our math page. Yup, I've got my standards, my vocabulary. I've got my homework listed. Let's go back to our site, and I do want to fix that image. I don't know what happened, but we'll just go back and re-upload it. And it's adjusting it, so that maybe that was what. Maybe I didn't do something with the adjustment. I have no idea. I could have messed it up somehow. And so that's kind of where you get, and make sure when you're done, you're going to hit the publish button. And there's nothing to change. Of course there wasn't. Maybe I'll delete this period so that there was something to change and see if it messed up my picture again. So what this is just going to show you what your draft of your site looks like and the current published page. They look kind of the same. I don't know what's going on with my picture. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, my friends, but it should be there. Maybe it's has to adjust. I don't like that adjusting. Oh gosh, now I added something. Oh, BTW, that was a good thing to show. If you have something you want to delete, you can just hover over it, and the delete button is there for all things. So it's a picture, or it's this. You can just hit that delete button. I think this picture I chose, there you go. I think it's done. There we go. Now we can publish, and I just hit publish again. All right, go back to our old page here, our page that's open. Let's refresh and see if my picture actually showed up. Fingers crossed. Sometimes it takes a minute or two. It did. There it goes. All right, so this is the basics of creating a Google site. There is a lot of things you can do. Play with some of this stuff over here. The best thing you do is just add a new page to your site, and just call it our test page, because you can delete it again later on. And on your test page, play with some of this stuff. What is this? This is going to create a row of 4 images. I hate it. Get rid of it. What's collapsible text? That means you can click something here, like click me to see your science words. And then down here you can type all your science words like space and astronomy and Earth and Mars. Let's pretend that that is your words. And what happens is this is a collapsible text. So it's gone, but when students click on this, it's going to open. So here, I'll publish it real quick, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Go over here. We'll refresh. We got to get our test page up. There it is. Click on test. And now students see this. What? Click me for your science words. They click, and it opens the science words for them. They click, and it closes. That's what a collapsible text is. And there's a lot of other cool options for that. You could do a table of contents. I love doing a button. And so for the button, you can say, visit my YouTube channel. That's what you want the button to say. And then on here, you'll put the link. So let's just say the link is, http youtube.com. I don't, be whatever link you want to put there. Hit insert, and now it's created a button. And this button looks too small, but I just move it, and now I can see it bigger. And there's buttons have several options. I moved it to a spot I don't like. There we go. You could do a filled button. An outlined button looks like that. A text button is just simply a text that you click on. I like both either the filled or the outlined. I kind of like filled better. So what that'll do, let's publish. I gotta show you how to turn this off. Sorry, but I'll get to that in a minute. And let's just refresh our test page. Sometimes it takes a second for it to all... There we go. And a button looks like that, and then you click on it, and it'll take you to that thing that we were just talking about. So the thing you put in there. All right. In your I have to remember where it is right now. Okay, so if you drop down published here and click on publish settings, you can turn off editor must review changes before publishing. That just means that when I hit the word publish, it just publishes. I don't need to see the changes. I always turn that off. Of course, you can turn it on. Let me show you some other really cool settings. You click on the little settings here. The navigation is this top bar here. You can have it on the top. You can have it on the side. When you do it on the side like that, it opens this little thing to open that up. I don't really like that. I gotta be honest with you. I like having it on the top, but it's your choice. Then you may have some color choices here, white or black color. Or you can do transparent, which means it'll show more of your picture. That's kind of cool too. Branded image is what we did before. This viewer tools is kind of interesting. So I don't like to have a lot of this stuff on. I don't like to have show page, last updated time. I turn that off. I like to turn off the contact form. And I like to turn off anchor links. I don't like any of those things. You can learn out more about those, but that's how you turn them off. This is stuff for Google Analytics. And the announcement banner is kind of cool. So we turn that on. And it adds this banner you'll see across the top. You can select any one of these colors that is here. Let's select like red. And we'll make the announcement, school begins September 8th. Okay. You can add a button if you want and a link for that button. We're not going to add a button here. And we want it visible either on all the pages or just the home page. And then we exit out. And it should, did I not turn it on? What did I do wrong? Oh, I'm not on the home page. That's why. So it adds this red banner here to the top. So let's go back. That's what this announcement banner again. You could turn it on for all the pages or just the home page. And it just is this really cool little thing. Google just added this kind of recently. And it just adds a little flair to the top. And it's great to put something that's really important for kids and stuff to see. And we'll just publish it. We'll go over to our home page. We'll have to refresh our home page since it wasn't loaded yet. There it goes. And there's our updates. So it's just showing our new red banner at the top that we created. And looks, you can see the banner stays at the top. So this has been just a quick tutorial on how Google Sites works. There's so many cool things that you can do with Google Sites. And what I'll do right now is let me show you what my Google Sites looks like. Okay, so this is my Google Sites, and listen, I go a little bit crazy, so don't get intimidated by what I do. So my main page, I've got my welcome here. I put a picture of a tiger in the background because, you know, we're the tigers, and only because it tends to crop those pictures a little bit weird sometimes, so it's cool to have like a tiger, I guess, in that. I've got a brief little introduction to our classroom. I've got my list of classroom expectations right here on the front. Our principals come up with our theme for this year, which is embrace change with passion and resilience. So I created a fun graphic to go there. I've got my Bitmoji, which you'll obviously see all over my page, a little bit about who I am. I put on the front a couple of links that are really important that kids are going to need often. So I put them here. I also put a link for my parents to join our homeroom photo gallery, which we can check out one day. And then I've got links to like the student council and fall musical that I do. My footer, as you can see, a little bit more detailed than the one we created. And you can go crazy too. I have two images. I've got my little profile of my Bitmoji, then my contact information, then I have my school's contact information and my school logo all there. But for my links at the top, I've got my schedule, which I first start with I put in my classroom Google Calendar at the top, and then my schedule we don't have yet. And then I've got contact information for the other teachers my kids will see. I have a page where all my lesson plans are going to go, so my students can see all the lesson plans each week. I've got a page dedicated to science. Since one of the subjects I teach is science, I actually teach 2 sections of science. So I've got my science page here. I've got a page dedicated to math. I teach my homeroom math. And I'll put our current topic over here, and then I'll put my vocabulary down here, and I may put other stuff here. I've got my reading page, what we're reading, vocabulary for what we're reading. and then my information for language arts, and of course my first spelling list. All of that's updated, as you can see. Yes, I am obsessed with my Bitmoji, and I have it everywhere. I'm sorry, I'm obsessed with it. It's amazing. And then this down here is just the links to the 2 clubs that I run at the school. And so my page is a little bit crazier than maybe you need to do, but just shows that you can kind of do as much as you want and have as much fun as you can. And check with your administration as to what items you have to have on your Google site. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully this helped.